Hey, I'm back. I got a tip coming at you. Oh my god, I thought I lost the coming at you thing. I got it right back to it. Coming at you. I'm just gonna stick with this. Heck with it. Anyway, about handlebars. I get often asked a lot of different questions about handlebars and different stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of got some bullet points written down here to kind of just run through, and hope it helps people out in some different circumstances and stuff. As far as handlebars, I prefer. There's a dead space there. I hope I edited that out. As far as handlebars I run 999 Renthals. 999 Renthals. They are one of the, I don't think they are the only, lowest, straightest bars I think Renthal makes, and I think of all the manufacturers, you know, one of the straighter bars. I think Mickett has a copy to it. Straight, same bend, same everything or whatever, but anyway, Renthal 999s. They do have a taller rise bar, 996. This is the same sweep, just taller, 996 for taller riders. A lot of times you'll see guys running low straight bars. In my opinion, it does help. There is exceptions to different things on, you know, as far as body position and stuff like that. I believe, in my opinion, the lowest straightest bar helps aid in cornering and better leverage and control of the bike, because I feel like with a lower, straighter bar, I can get further over top of the front end, over top of the forks, and over top of the trip clamps to make the bike turn, or, you know, stuff like that, as far as weighting the front end and stuff. A lot of times with a higher raised bar, it'll force the rider to sit further back on the bike. For instance, a lot of times I see guys with tall bar clamps, you know, and the thing I always hear is, it makes it better because when I stand, my back doesn't hurt, my lower back, you know, and I'm like, I know exactly what you mean, dude. But it compromises body position. A lot of times when you know, the rider's high on the bike, yeah, it does limit that ache in the back, but it doesn't allow the guy to get over top of the front end when needed, and a lot of times we'll have an issue with the front end coming up and over a berm. That being said, also when they're seated, a lot of times because the bar is high, it makes them have a sense of sitting more in the bike rather than on it. And then when they sit in the bike, they sit further back on the bike, and kind of stay essentially located there and have issues turning, in my opinion. I just noticed over years doing schools, every time we tried to go back to a lower clamp with a guy like that, right away he was like, oh my god. You know, side note is, in my opinion, I say in my opinion a lot too, we have a tendency, you know, dirt bikes riding is not cheap. So if we buy a product, a lot of times just because we put the money out to buy the product, we've therefore talked ourselves into it. But a lot of times get in the habit of, if you're going to buy a product, try and go back to the way it was. Test the product. Don't just throw it on and convince yourself, man, this is the way to go, I'm better, you know. And because we've all done it. I know I can talk myself into anything. But mentally, but test it, test the product, see if it was actually better. Spend the time doing that. So anyway, 999s is what I run, Renthals, fat bars. I do cut half an inch off each side. I've always done that for years. I'm not saying that's best for everyone. It depends on your torso and your reach, in my opinion. I know guys, my brothers, in fact, both of them are taller, bigger frame guys, and they ran full length bars for a long time, and had, you know, good success with it. It's just, and we live in tight woods. It's just turning around a tree. I don't cut my bars super short before tight trail or anything like that, because I feel in the long run you lose that leverage and control. I know that's an old school thing. A lot of guys do it and have issues. Swap black fibers, right? KTM Husky, you have these clamps. Have it? These clamps have it. Top clip trip clamp has, I know that some of the newer bikes only have one hole, but top trip clamp has 2 holes, and the bottom bar tray is offset. So because it's offset and there's 2 holes, that means you have 4 positions in bar. 1 being furthest forward, 2, 3, 4. 4 all the way closest to you. I prefer a 3. I did years ago going back and forth with messing with that just to see if it would make me corner better or have better control or better comfort, anything. Every time I put the bar further forward, like in 1 or 2, I had issues going into a corner. It felt like I was chasing the front end for me. That was me. So I've always preferred back closer to you, but therefore the tray of the handlebar is close to you, I do tend to roll them quite forward. And my reason for that is to be comfortable. You want to find when you're adjusting your bars in the garage, and the height, in my opinion, a lot of guys adjust them to where it's comfortable just sitting on the bike, because that's what you're doing in the garage, you're just sitting on the bike. Then when you go to stand, a lot of times they're too far back. So play with that on the stand, but be careful that take the bike off the stand, put your foot on the stand, hold yourself up so both wheels are touching the ground. Bikes on the stand tend to feel higher in the rear end because they keep the rear end off the ground more. So take the bike off the stand, hold yourself up, stand, sit, and try and find a happy medium between both so it's comfortable sitting and standing. So for me, that tends to be about 1/4 inch past dead center, and there's actually lines on Renthal bars as far as increments where to move it. Make sure they're in the clamp, side to side properly. Don't I've seen guys, I'm like, dude, look at your bars, and be offset. I've done it too. I've done it myself. So just be conscious of that. I run flags. Ran flags probably for 3 years now. I still get often asked questions and people shake their head and can't believe it. But I'm not bragging. I feel comfortable. Do I do it for any particular reason other than that? No, I feel comfortable. And plus, the one reason, in my opinion, I do it is I gain another 1/2 inch off each side where a traditional handguard would catch a tree. I gain that, so therefore I'm less apt to catch that tree on the edges. I don't run the bar ends. I did for a long period of time. I ran bar ends, but now I just run the grip because I found with the bar ends, if I do catch that one, which I have caught one once in a while, you catch one a lot of times with an aluminum bar end, it will send you almost like a handguard does, or kind of like a and then rip some bark out of the tree. So, interesting. But I'd rather have the rubber end of a grip just peel and give some give to it if you're going to do that, which you can see this one's got a little give in it today. So. Which is fine. In my opinion, why I get away with this? If I was to run traditional Enduro engineering full wrap metal guards, I would run this plastic on them because I like Enduro engineering products. They fit quite well, and they're true and tested for off-road. They're really good for off-road. I would run these plastic guards. So with traditional metal hand guards, in my peripheral, as far as riding, I don't know that I don't have that metal guard out here, but I do gain that clearance. I don't know that I don't have that hand guard out here because all I see in my peripheral is this plastic. So it feels the same to me as far as negotiating through trees. And I've gained that little bitch on, that little bit on each end. Okay? Now, it's happened. And I know I just said I like a Enduro engineering product. If I was to be honest, I like the metal flag mount over the plastic. Since they went to plastic the past year or two, I think it's been 1 year. Sorry, Napper, or whoever. I've broke a lot more, but put some Teflon tape under the one end so they do swivel a little bit. But what I was getting at is I have broke one off, and breaking one off, that now that handguard's not in my peripheral, I do tend to favor that side dodging trees, okay? Because you don't want your front brake lever to get caught or anything like that. But that's how I get away with the flags. It's just like I just negotiate the trail just like I would if I had traditional full wrap aluminum guards, because this is still my peripheral as far as my timing, so it feels the same to me. Cut my bars 1/2 inch on each side. Cutting your bars too narrow. Cutting your bars too narrow. I already mentioned that. As far as it just. And the other thing is, I see all the time when I cut the bars too narrow, then their levers are all jacked up and everything. It's just. And then that will, in a sense, throw your arms off and you're all cramped riding a lot. I see a lot of issues with that. Can you guys get away with the narrow bar? If you're a small, tiny frame person, like I said, the bars, you don't want them too far out here, like I see with kids. You're going to cut them. What I've seen done, and you have to take it to a machine shop, and it's a lot to it, but they cut it from the center. Cut it from the center, put a piece of stock in the center of the handlebars for some support, and then re-weld it back together. Now that's pretty far-fetched, so I only would recommend that if you know a really good machinist and a really good welder. I know a few. So, because you don't want no bar issues with your bars breaking and stuff, that would be kind of sketchy. And as far as my grips, I like full pyramids lately here, and if anybody knows me, and most Lafferty's are cheap, and I am cheap. Rocky Mountain, Tusk, I'm all about testing Tusk products, and these Tusk grips are $4.99. So I usually buy $20 grips, so I bought 4 pairs or 5 pairs of these. Sorry, 4 times 5, $20. So anyway, 4 pairs of these. They are a little thicker than the full pyramids I usually run, X brand or something like that, like a Renthal, but they seem to be wearing pretty good. They work pretty good. So, and I like my grips to be worn. I know everybody busts on my grips usually, but I like them worn better than I do new. New, they feel too much traction, too much grip. I want to be a little bit looser. I'm just weird that way. So, that's it as far as bars. So hopefully I've answered some questions. Getting back into the video swing here. Everything's been awesome and just took a break from it. Been doing a lot of riding, so I'm pumped. I come home at night and look at my bike and I just want to go riding. So, and it's good exercise, it's a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm going to keep the video thing coming too. And I do have a lot of guys have written questions and different stuff. Keep it coming and comment on this video if you like. You know, you like it, you dislike it, or you want to bust on my bike. My bike's dirty, but at least tonight my gear all matched. Kid I went riding with, his gear didn't match, so that's a big no-no. Can't do that. The era I grew up in, you could do that, but nowadays you can't show up with your gear not matching you. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, you guys be good, and more video tips coming at you soon. Please, if you have any feedback as far as a video tip you'd like to see, let me know. Thank you. See you. Dinner time!